Zoning Board of Appeals for Thursday, April 2nd to order at 7:38 p.m. We'll start out with roll call.
Okay.
Ms. Pryor?
Here.
Mr. May?
Here.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Miss Zielinski?
Here.
Miss Rude?
Here. I'd like to point out that we'll have Pam Zielinski as a full voting member tonight. And we will begin with our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then I'd ask Ms. Pryor to read our Zoning Board of Appeals responsibilities, just so that everyone is aware of what our powers are. People think that we can do magic, and we have to follow rules. Yes.
Okay. So the zoning board has the authority to grant area variances from the area or dimensional requirements outlined in the town zoning code. In making its determination, the board will take into consideration these 5 things: whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicants to pursue other than an area variance, whether the requested area variance is substantial, whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood, and whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to this decision of the Board of Appeals, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance.
Thank you. All right. So last month, we left open a petition for Matt Wendling. It's petition number 653 at 8350 Boston State Road. He was seeking an area variance for 8 feet and 9 feet side yard requirements per the Town of Boston Code 123-74B 2B to erect a primary commercial structure for personal storage. He was also looking for a use variance. So I would like to have him step up. And then I'm going to turn it over to the code enforcement officer to talk about what has happened in the interim period between last meeting and tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Rude. After reevaluating the materials used for the quote-unquote undercoating, it does not fall into the guidelines for automotive finishes. It's environmentally friendly. It's basically no worse than using Dawn dish soap to wash your vehicle. And there are products like this that will inhibit rust that are used. That being said, there's a definition in zoning for accessory use, and it's a use customarily incidental and subordinate to the main use or building and located on the same lot therewith. In no case shall such an accessory use dominate in area, extent, or purpose the principal lawful use or building, except the vehicle parking may be larger than the building area. That being said, it's going to be used, accessory use incidental to the main use for storage, for doing undercoating for personal vehicles, family, friends. There will be no signage, no advertising for this use, and we see no reason that there should be a use variance requested for this. So that, discussing with Mr. Wendling, he's willing to abide by the no signage, no advertising, and only to use that with what he's doing. Basically, it's very similar to an auto detailing or washing your car in your driveway.
Okay. So we're all copacetic with that.
Very good.
Okay. So now we're currently just looking at the area variance for the side yards.
Mr. Wendling, did you speak with any of your neighbors about if they were opposed or anything like that? Are they aware?
I have a couple with me
Oh,
here.
excellent.
I live obviously on one side of it, so one of the sidelines is my house, and then the back side is also our property. And the north side property, the commercial building to the north, is rented. I talked to the tenant that lives there. The fellow that owns it lives in East Aurora. I haven't been able to reach out to him. Then obviously across the street you have the fire hall and the gas station,
Okay.
and then this Mr. Ball lives across the street. He's kind of like the closest homeowner that I have.
Okay,
So
great.
he is
Could
right
we have this gentleman come on up to the microphone, just state name, address, and then just say if you have any objection at all to the variance request, just so it's on the record?
My name is Jim Ball. I'm at 8355, and I think it's a great idea. No objection.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, why don't you
Hey,
pop
come
up
on
too? Yep.
My name is Bob Krull, KRULL, 8222 Boston State Road. And I've known him forever, and I know what he's doing. I don't see what the problem is.
Okay. Thank
You
you
guys
very
gonna
much.
hang out there drinking coffee and shooting the breeze? I see it happening already.
Great.
Anyone else have any questions?
Would you be willing to shrink the building at all on this?
I'd like to go bigger, but no, it's
Everybody does.
yeah, you got one shot to build it, the first time.
Mhm.
The height, are you talking about the actual size or like the sidewall?
Everything.
So the height of 16-foot sidewalls is twofold. Number one, for the back where I plan to store my camper. My camper is like just under 13 feet to the top of the air conditioner unit. So by the time you add in, overhead door tracks and the door, I mean, you're right there. And then the front,
We need 2 feet, 2 feet over the door frame.
right. So about 13 feet to the air conditioner. So you got 2 feet. So that's 15. So
Yeah.
to crawl up there if I had to do something on the camper. And then in the front, like I said last time, I plan to put a lift up there. So 6 feet, and then the vehicle above you, roughly 16 feet. You're right there again.
Mm.
And then the size of the building. I mean, the front portion where the bay will be for the undercoating will be roughly 26 by 30, which leaves me about 48 feet in the back. My camper is all of almost 40 with the tongue. So, I mean, I don't want to go too crazy, but you only get one shot to build it the first time.
Okay. Okay.
So,
46 side. And there's going to be a lean-to on it also.
Yeah, so there'll be a 10-foot wide lean-to off of the south side, starting at the front, about 20. Well, it'll be 24 feet back, 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall, just to park a vehicle under in case it's raining, just to keep it dry.
It's the 16 here. Oh, see, now this is again. So on your building permit, it says that the height is 16 feet, but that's the wall.
Sidewalls, yeah, to the peak is 23.
It's 23.
To the peak.
so doesn't that mean,
So there isn't anything in here for a variance for that.
I think that's where the side yard, right, Bob, the 8 and 9
It's the
feet,
side
because
yard.
23 feet height.
Based on the size of the lot.
Oh.
The height is for residential. Commercial is up to 35 feet.
okay. All right.
All
I
right.
just-
This is
I
a
wasn't-
commercial property.
Just based on the other one that we had, just a second.
Oh, that's
I
This is
right.
a
it's
commercial
commercial.
property,
So I didn't know-
two
It's
Okay.
commercial.
separate things.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So the
There you
height
go.
doesn't come into
Okay,
play
great.
on that.
Yep.
Just wanted to double check.
All right. But again, on the building permit, it says 16 feet, and that's the wall height.
Pardon?
On the building permit, it says 16 feet for the height.
For the walls, the peak on the
Not to
plans
the peak.
shows like 2211.
Yeah. That's what should be there.
C1, yeah, okay. Okay.
All right. All right.
Just one more question. What was the brand name of the substance that you're going to be using, the undercoat?
So I'd like to carry two. One is called NHOU.
Oh.
It's New
Say,
Hampshire.
say it again slower for me.
It's
NHOU. I had that written down. already.
OU, and then
The other one's Woolwax.
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 Correct.
That's what I had done.
There's three major ones: fluid film, Woolwax, and NHOU. They're slightly different here.
Okay.
And there.
Okay. All right. No more questions? I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Then we'll do roll call. Sure.
Ms. Pryor?
Yes to close the meeting, or to close the variance.
Okay. Mr.
Close the
May?
hearing.
Close the hearing. That's the word. Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. May?
I agree.
Mr. Ballard?
Agree.
Ms. Zelinski?
Agree.
And Ms. Rude?
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure we were clear on what we were.
Yes,
voting
we
on.
close the public hearing.
Close the public.
Now we'll listen for a motion.
hearing. Okay. What petition is this? I'd like to make a motion for petition 653 Matt Wendling. The motion is to approve the variance. Does it create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood? No. Can the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved if the variance is not granted? No. Is the requested variance substantial? No. Will the variance have an adverse effect on the physical impact or environmental conditions of the neighborhood? I'd like to circle back to that one. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? Yes. So as far as number 4, will the variance have an adverse effect on the physical impact or environmental conditions of the neighborhood? No. As long as, this is be part of the stipulation here for the variance, as long as there is no signage on the property and that only the NHOU and the wool wax materials will be used for the undercoating. If those two stipulations are followed, then I am on board to say that this will not create an adverse effect on the physical impact or environmental conditions of the neighborhood.
I'd second that.
Ms. Pryor?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Zelinski?
Yes.
Ms. Rude?
Yes. All right. All right, moving on. We are going to be going to petition number 652. Mark Witkowski, 7376 Boston State Road, seeking an area variance of 16 inches to the top of sign and 35 inches to the bottom of sign for a variable message center sign per the Town of Boston Code LL 2019-2, Section 2.1.
Good evening, everyone.
We had this on the agenda last month, but there was an error in the letter, and he was unaware of the hearing. So we are revisiting that when proper notification was made, and basically we went over everything last month, but just some of the highlights included the Where's my, pardon me, I have to find the, my write-up from Sarah. From our planning consultant, Sarah Desjardins. Regarding petition number 652, he's requesting an area variance for variable message sign at 7376 Boston State Road. This action is classified as a type 2 action and therefore is not subject to review under seeker. And also regarding the sign, it came to our attention that he had received a letter from the code enforcement officer back in 2024 highlighting what was allowed. Talking about the total size of the message board not to exceed 24 square feet with the intensity and operation times and the maximum of 3 feet to the bottom of the sign unless it's set in a planner, maximum height of 7 foot unless the planner is in the base, and the maximum height is 9 foot. With the setbacks, the message must not change for 2 hours, no animation, and he needed to produce a full rendition and submit it with an application for approval. And that was for the code enforcement officer at the time, Thomas Murphy, and that was dated August 22nd, 2024. And he installed the sign without approval. So I think that that was the gist of
Last week or last month.
everything that we talked about last month. So I would like to open the public hearing now. The motion, there's my motion to open it.
I'll second.
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
Mr. May,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Zelinski,
Yes.
Ms. Rude.
Yes. And state your name and
Kevin Rautenstraup, and I'm appearing on behalf of Mr. Bukowski this evening, who is the owner of Southtown's Feeds and Needs.
could you speak directly into the microphone?
sorry.
Just, we need that because that's our minutes.
Understood. There's a area variance application in front of the board requesting a variance permitting the sign to exceed the 9-foot allowance in the signage code, and then to fall short of the requirement for the bottom of the signage as measured from the planting box. You had referenced the letter from August 22nd that was sent to Mr. Witkowski by Mr. Murphy, who was the former code enforcement officer. Subsequent to that letter, Mr. Witkowski had submitted an application for the permit to conduct the work, which was granted in October, with the fee paid for that in January of 2025. Mr. Reed visited the property in, I believe, August of 2025, cited him for the violations that I mentioned previously, along with 2 others that my understanding is have since been taken care of. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the sign that's on Boston State Road. The current sign replaces, in essence, the sign that had existed there since at least 1993, with the modification that the sign has the LED as opposed to the manual facade. The purpose of having it raised up, I guess, higher than what would ordinarily be permitted under the code is that based on his location on Boston State Road, in the winter months, anything that would be only 3 feet off the ground would be covered by the snowplow onto the side of the road. And then in addition, he's permitted to have product out beyond the sign onto the street, which would cover any lower sign as well. So the request that has been made is for permission through the granting of an area variance that the sign be permitted to remain as is. And like I said, I do acknowledge that the letter from August of 2024 was sent, but again, the subsequent application for the building permit, was in fact granted based on the drawings submitted. That was in October, with that fee paid in January of 2025. I guess from a factual standpoint, I'll leave it now. Questions for you if you have any.
This feels a lot like do it and then ask for forgiveness later. Can you maybe talk us through how that's not from your perspective? Because from our perspective, that's what it feels like.
Sure. I mean, well, like I said, he had, with the old code enforcement officer, he had received the required building permit. He submitted the drawings. And from his standpoint, when the sign was submitted, he was unaware that there was anything amiss. Obviously, when Mr. Reed came, he informed him of the issues that existed. And I think that he's been making, attempts at correcting them. I know that he had submitted paperwork that required supplementation on a number of occasions prior to February of 2026 that Mr. Reed was working with him on. I know that I think he made insufficient submissions in maybe September and then December that required supplementation. So, I mean, he did make efforts immediately after being notified to come to the ZBA for approval, like once he realized that there was, issues with the height.
Do we happen to have the application that was submitted? Is it in our packet? I don't think it is.
Other than the one that was from October of 24.
That is the application.
That's the
that
original?
was submitted. I believe Mr. Murphy had sent that letter out listing the parameters in variable message center on part of the sign law to let him know what was required. He got his permit, and I believe that was with the understanding he would follow the directives
Right.
in that letter. And the directives,
Were not
most of them
followed.
were not followed until I approached him. He did start shutting the sign off nighttime within the time frames required. He did shorten the message to maximum or minimum of every 2 hours to change the message on it. And he opted to go for a variance for the area for the height of the sign. And that the reason he gave me was because of the height of his storage piles, which are within the allowance for high piled storage for the fire code.
Right.
And that was the reason I went down to close his permit out and do his fire inspection at the same time. But that's the only application, and that's the one that was processed.
All right.
So it's
So
not
we-
the bottom height or anything that's
Well-
in question. It's just the very top of it.
The way
now,
the law
right?
is written, it kind of gives you got to have a long, skinny sign, because between the original writing and the rewrite of the local law to put variable message centers in, it took out the wording for planter box, which would have given him additional height to bring that closer to compliance for the bottom of the sign. And that's something that I believe we're going to be working on to clean up some of the ambiguous language. But the height maximum is 9 feet. And he's about 16 inches over that right now. Any sign that we've had permits for in town for refacing, like NBT Bank, have brought their signs into compliance with the current laws and didn't ask for any variances. So it's Mr. Witkowski's right to ask for a variance for this. And he was given the parameters, and it's up to, the board to decide on that. I'm just the messenger of bad news.
Yep.
I've been so much.
Any other questions? I'd make a motion to close the public hearing.
I will second the motion to close the public hearing.
I'll do roll call.
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
Mr. May,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Zelinski,
Yes.
and Ms. Rude.
Yes. All right, folks, what's your pleasure? Go for it.
All right. Rest of the board is very quiet this evening.
I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, all right.
I'd like to make a motion to pass petition number
652.
652. Oh, does it create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood? No. Can the benefit be sought by the applicant be achieved if the variance is not granted? No. Is the request of the variance substantial? No. Will the variance have an adverse effect on the physical impact, environment conditions of the neighborhood? No. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? Yes.
We would need a second if we wanted to vote it, if you wanted to vote on that motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Pryor?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's,
No,
Oh,
you're
she's
right.
okay.
voting no.
Voting no.
Okay.
It's okay, Margaret.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Mr. May,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Zelinski,
Yes.
and Ms. Rude.
No. Motion passes. All right, moving on to petition number 655, James Tatford, 7023 Sunset Lane, Hamburg, seeking an area variance per Town of Boston Code 123-136B4 to erect a pole barn in violation of maximum square footage allowed per lot size. I'd make a motion to open this public hearing.
I'll second the motion.
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
Mr. May,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Zelinski,
Yes.
and Ms. Rude.
Yes. From Mr. Tatford, dated March 9th, Boston Town Board, letter of variance, proposal and intention of use of the proposed. I'm requesting a variance from the town board to construct a pole building on the 7023 Sunset Lane, Boston, New York. building is 40 by 40 by 14. It will be constructed at least 10 feet from the eastern side property line and at least 50 feet from the front property line. The rainwater runoff from the building's roof will be diverted via the gutters to underground drainage pipes that will run along both sides of the building to the existing ditch that runs along the front line of the building property line. The purpose or use of the building would be vehicle parking, storage of cars, trucks, RV, and a possible boat. The building will also be utilized for personal work area to maintain the above vehicles. Sincerely, respectfully submitted, James Tatford. From Sean, our code enforcement officer. His letter reads, petitioner wishes to obtain one variance for his property at the above address. The variances required are as follows pursuant to Article 25 supplemental lot size and open space requirements 123-136B4, which states 4 maximum allowable square footage of lot coverage for a one-story accessory building is as follows. The property is 0.70 acres, less than 1 acre. The maximum allowable size is 28 square and height of 18 feet in height. A variance is necessary for the increased square footage. The allowed is 728 square feet, required is 1,600 square feet. The variance would be for 872 square feet. From our planning consultant, she writes regarding petition number 655, James Tapp, an area variance for a pole barn at 7023 Sunset Lane. It's type 2 action and therefore is not subject to review under C. And Mr. Tatford went to his neighbors and got signatures. The thing that he had them sign said neighbors notification of variance proposal to the town board. James Tatford, who owns the property at 7023 Sunset Lane, has advised us that he wishes to put up a pole barn on the eastern side of his property between his existing garage and the property line by the woods. He informed us that he would need to get a variance from the town board to construct this pole barn. He explained the planned use of this pole barn would be for storage and a workshop for his family's vehicles. He explained to us that this is for the family's personal use and would not be used for commercial purposes. He informed us that the variance application would be for 40 by 40 by 14 feet high. After hearing the explanation for location of and planned use of the proposed pole barn, we, the undersigned, have no objection to his project and gives him our full support and our approval in his request to the Boston Town Board in this pursuit of the variance that is needed to build this pole barn. And it was signed by Michael McLeod at 7015 Sunset Lane and Philip and Amy Nolden at 7026 Sunset Lane, Boston, New York, by Neil McFadden at 7036 Sunset Lane, by Helen Eastep at 7044 Sunset Lane, and by Sharon Stewart at 9302 Robin Drive, which is. So, Mr. Tatford, sign in.
Hello,
State your name and address. And
my name is James Tafford. I live at 7023 Sunset Lane.
and you wanna.
And I'm requesting a variance to construct a pole building 40 by 40 by 14 on the eastern side of my property between my garage and the wooded area.
To be clear, though, the height of the building that you're asking for is 20.9 and 9/16.
That would be to the peak. The
That-
side walls are 14.
Right, so the
peak-
height of the building is the 20, whatever, that's what should be on your building permit, just for clarity's sake.
All right.
And since allowable in
It is on the building permit. It's not his letter. In the building permit, it's 21 feet high.
It's not on the variance request.
It's not on the
on the
variance.
variance
It's not
request.
listed
It
as,
also was not listed in the letter that he had everybody sign. It was to that one as well.
right. It says that in your letter that you had everyone sign, it said that the height was 14 feet. not 21.
Yes, I explained to him that would be the working size of the building and the peak would be a little bit higher. At that point in time, I'm not a builder. I really wasn't sure what the 412 pitch would actually be. Brought it till I talked to Sean and he came up with the,
But we can only go because are any of those people here tonight? No. This is all we can go by is what they signed. So the allowed height in that
On our letter.
18 feet
Yeah.
is allowable.
allowable. But at 21, that's another variance. And it wasn't published either. So when you come in for a variance, we have the public notice and they have to publish it so that everybody knows what the variances are going to be. And unfortunately, that wasn't part of the public notice that was put in the paper. So it has to be republished.
Or we have to knock the height of the building down to 18 so that you don't need a variance for that.
Or that.
So we need to make the building smaller right off the bat if you want anything done tonight.
I really need the walls to be about 14 feet tall.
Okay, well then I guess,
To get the height of the doors for the RV that we're looking at. And so it's, and then the 18-foot would be just too much of a flat roof and that would cause major problems down the line. So
well then we can't really do anything for you tonight. We'll have to republish
Yeah.
with the,
And I know you wanted to, but once we looked at everything, it has to be right or it could be challenged.
okay.
So,
are you willing to make the building smaller so that you have more of a pitch?
I would prefer not.
Okay.
Like everybody says, you always want to go bigger than smaller. And, like one of the other people said, you got one shot to build it.
It's just a very big building on a very small piece of property.
Yeah. But, I don't know, if I did go smaller, that wouldn't change the height of the building. I would still need the 14-foot. And that seems to be, so.
Well, if you're gonna be doing that,
Yeah.
and it has to be republished, we were talking about the drainage
yeah.
and everything. Maybe we could have it they can have it, and if it does get approved, because they're going to ask for that, other than just saying that you're going to have the guy do it and have it appropriate.
Yeah.
We've got to have it. The building department is going to have to tell you what you need. I don't know if you guys are able to calculate that, or would he have to have the contractor produce that, or?
Well, just for the shed of the water on a metal roof with the dimensions that you're looking at, the 40 by 40, that's 1,600 times 0.623. And that would make it 1,000 gallons an hour with just 1 inch of rain would be shed off that roof.
So when we ask for a drainage plan, we're looking at size of pipes, that you're going to have any type of snow, what do they call them?
Snow jacks.
Snow jacks.
Mhm.
Mr. Reed, you mentioned some type of pit that can be.
There are a couple different ways that drainage can be done. It could be a swale, which would be a shallow
Okay.
ditch, possibly stone line to kind of inhibit a rapid runoff of water. It kind of meters it out. The stone pit, so the water would run into that and fill up and then flow out naturally, so you don't have a big surge in the roof. This area gets in the rainfall maps and the codes, 2.5 inches per hour is what's calculated. So you're looking at basically 2,500 gallons an hour of rain coming off. And you're looking at a decent sort of runoff where that's going to go to, so it doesn't flood out neighboring properties.
Or yours.
And you don't realize that unless you watch the rains we've had recently. And some areas in town, it was like the Niagara River running down the ditches and across people's yards. I had 4 people come in the other day with flooding issues. So it's not uncommon. But we don't want that to happen after it's built, or for it to start negatively affecting with the amount of water coming off and we anticipate. So that's why we need something down in writing. It doesn't have to be an engineered, plan, but we need to have something that we can track back to maybe what similar people in the area have done. We can say, okay, yeah, this is work, this is work, that we can work with you on that short term to make sure it's going to solve what could be a long-term problem.
You also get less runoff when you build a smaller building. That helps.
Yeah.
So something also to take into consideration. It's a very, very large building on a very small piece of property.
And if you could go, I mean, you were conscientious and they found these. I do have a copy of them. But if you could correct that to 21 feet and then just have them re-sign it, that would be great, just so that it's correct. So this needs to be republished for next month.
With the 2 variances.
Yes, with the variances. Yep, with the height included.
And the square footage, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and what was already on there. Unless you change the size before it goes, to publish, your choice. And with that being said, I move to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Ms. Pryor,
Yes.
Mr. May,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Zielinski,
Yes.
Ms. Rude.
Yes. All right. Anything else for the good of this group that we need to hear about? Make a motion to close close the meeting.
I'll second the motion to close the meeting.
So the difference between leaving it open like we did with the Wendling one is because it has to be republished.
Right.
So we're already going to do it. So
Right,
we'll close it and then we'll.
Okay.
Do we have to sign anything as well?
Are there any high school kids that need signatures? You can come up and see me.
Any place?
Okay. Did you guys have any questions?
Did you have fun?
That's not our department. That's code enforcement.
Okay, thank you.
That's not
Here, I'll
us.
use my pen.
Is that